And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Arraial. Now, this is a game that when I first saw it, I had no idea what it was about. It shows a festival, but I saw these like Tetris-style pieces, and I was like, oh, maybe it's a little like Tetris. Well, guess what? It is. This is literally Tetris, the board game. Kind of, sort of. I mean, obviously, it's not the exact same thing. But if you wanted Tetris, the board game, of which there are many other games out there that have some similar feels to them, this one has a good feel to that. Now, the putting tiles on the grid, there are a lot of them. Uwe Rosenberg has made whole series about this style of game. Does this one stand out? Let's find out. So each player is going to have their own personal board with a level bar placed in one of these lines, depending on if you're playing with 2, 3, or 4 players. You have a pile of meeples of different colors here, and there's some couple meeples, 2 meeples put together, and then a whole bunch of Tetris-shaped pieces. You're going to draw 3 cards from a deck, place them in the middle, put the matching pieces, well, you don't have to put the matching pieces on top of them, but I do because it's just easier for people to see, and then 3 cards next to the board. One player is going to start, and you're just going to go around, and there's going to be 3 phases of the game. Now, on your turn, you have 3 actions. One of these actions can be to rotate this clockwise. You just turn it 90 degrees clockwise, and so you have 3 actions. I could do it twice if I wanted to, because one of your actions must be to put a piece on your board. You can do it more than once, but you must do it at least once. When you put a piece, you're going to take the piece in whatever orientation it is towards your board and just drop it all the way down on your board till it gets to the bottom. So here, for example, I might drop this piece like this and put it here. Now, when you drop a piece, let's say I drop this long blue piece here, you can, just like in Tetris, slide it over if it fits to put underneath like that. However, if you can't fit through, so let's say I want to slide a square over, but there's only a spot for one to get in, I can't squeeze it in, then slide it over. So you have to be very cautious on how you're building this. What are you doing here? Well, if you ever put 2 pieces of the same color next to each other, like I did here, you're going to put a meeple on them. So, hey, I got a blue meeple. That's worth a point at the end of the game. In fact, if I'm the first person to put blue together, I also get the couple meeple. Now, the couple meeple, I have 8 squares here, is going to stay with me, but if someone ever builds a bigger blue area, that will be taken away. If I drop another blue one in here, I don't get another meeple. However, if I start another area, you know, put these 2 together, I would get another blue meeple there. If, as you're dropping in the tiles, you do something that fills in a complete line, then you get a white meeple, you'll put it on your level line, and you'll move it up 1. At the end of your turn, the cards that you used will come off the board, and you'll replace those with cards of your choice from the face-up ones. When you replace them, you'll notice they have a yellow dot, and you just put that yellow dot on the spot, so that way they're always going to be rotated in a specific way for the next player, and the next player takes their turn. Now, when we run out of cards from the deck, then the phase is going to end. You'll reshuffle the deck. You will leave cards out here, and everyone's level board is going to move down to. If at any point you add a piece, or when it moves down it hits one of your pieces, then your level board is just removed from the game. Yay, you don't have to worry about it anymore. Except all those white meeples that you were getting and would get in the future, you don't get points from them anymore, so that's kind of a pretty big negative deal. In phase 3, everything is done the same way. Phase 1 and phase 2 are the same way. In phase 3, you have to drop 2 pieces. So of your 3 actions, 2 of them, you must drop pieces. And that's it. At the end of the game, you're simply going to just take all the different meeples that you have on your board, and whoever has the most is the winner of the game. Okay, so these guys here, the little meeples, they work fine. They're taller than Carcassonne meeples, but they look great. I guess you might have a problem if you're red-green colorblind, but other than that, they work really well. The board and the artwork, you know, some people are going to like the artwork. You know, if you like this artwork on the cover, for me, I've found that people have very different reactions. Some people really like the artwork here, and other people are okay with it. The pieces themselves, it's kind of funny to see how they fit the pieces on here. My biggest problem with these pieces is this. Now, I know why they did that, because this blue piece would become a very different piece if you could flip it over. In fact, it would become the green piece. But this white, it just doesn't look good. I might have like shaded them a color in the back just so when you're going through the pile, you can easily, hey, I'm looking for a yellow piece. No, wait, what are the yellow pieces? There's a yellow piece. I don't know. I would have done something about that. It just looks like a lesser game because of that. But I really like the cards. I like those yellow dots in them a lot. I like putting them here. This thing spins around. It's got a little finger token for you to move it around there. You got the first player token, these bars. Everything just has a nice, bright, colorful look to it. So overall, I like the components. I thought the tiles looked kind of cheesy with that white on the one side. I gotta say, this game definitely has that Tetris thing down, right? And this is one of those times where I feel like I don't even need to explain. You know, sometimes when I talk about these games, I'm like, well, this video game, no. Everyone in the world knows what Tetris is. And so this game has that feel. You drop the pieces. You can even slide them like you can in Tetris. And you're trying to, make rows, and you're trying to not go up too high and hit the line. Now, there's more to it than that. There's the putting the two colors together. There's getting area control of a color so that you get that double meeple, which is 2 points. There's not a lot of points in this game, so controlling areas can be worth a lot. And in fact, I think if you lose your level bar, you cannot win the game unless everyone loses their level bar, or the one guy who doesn't lose his level bar scores no other colors and all he's doing is concentrating. So you really should do that. It's not impossible to hit the level bar. I've seen it happen, but you can avoid it to some degree. So there's that interesting back and forth. As you're dropping pieces in, you want to complete rows because, hey, every time you complete a row, it's a point. But you also want to put colors together because you want to get those points and take them from the other players. Definitely there's interaction in this game. You're going to rotate it, you're going to drop the pieces, and then you're going to put the cards in for the next player, and you're definitely going to try to put cards in there that don't help them out much. Now, that being said, the game is not perfect because sometimes the tiles that come up for me are just the perfect ones. They really are. There's nothing you can do about it. I get them, I'm like, well, what do you know? And this happens like when you're playing Tetris, right? That 4 line shows up and you're like, thank you very much. Now, if I need a 4 single line to drop in, the next opponent is not going to give it to me if they can help it or not. But sometimes there's not much they can do about it, so they're eventually going to have to give it to me. But you can try to hit other people. But like I said, every once in a while it comes and you're like, well, thank you very much. This is perfect. Boom. Not only did I finish a row, I just made a big group. Give me that. But that being said, I don't mind it. The game is fast, it's simple, it's fun. Every piece in the game could conceivably be used, but probably won't be just because not every card is reshuffled in the deck because some cards are still out on the board every time you go through a phase. But for the most part, they all come out, and it looks really cool as you're dropping these in. So if you like Tetris and you wanted it as a board game, you will like this. I actually like this better than Rosenberg's complete trilogy. I like it better than Cottage Garden and Indian Summer and Spring Meadow. I like it better than all 3 of those, although those have nicer components. But this one just has that feel, not necessarily of a video game, although kind of in that degree, but it feels like I'm interacting with the other players a little more. It has that whole I'm filling rows. I don't know. I just like this one a lot. The theme, I could take or leave it, the filling the people with the festival and such. And like I said, I wish the whole thing was in a nicer packaging, but overall, very impressed with Arraial. Dice Tower Judgment approved!